Hello, dear friends. I'm glad to welcome everyone watching Sotnik-TV this moment. It's July 13th, 2019, 1:07 p.m. We're streaming live and I'm glad to see you all. I know that several minutes prior to the stream start, there were hundreds of people waiting. I know that each our stream is being watched live by more than 8,000 people, which equals to the audience of a stadium. That flips me out anytime I think of it. There are so many concerned people out there, really caring to know the current events. Let's begin with the highlighting the main issues of the latest days. Russia 1 TV channel was busy all day yesterday provoking Ukraine, all day long. Suddenly, they fell in love with the fraternal people of Ukraine. Can you imagine that? All the channels of that garbage Russian TV were urging to hate Ukrainians. During the past 5 years, exuding poison, making up some crucified boys, some fried bullfinches, some bloody junta and wicked Mr. Yarosh. They were squealing and instigating until now, and now they stand smiling wide, with eyes popped out from love kinda. Maria Sittel, would you relax? Mr. Malakhov is already relaxed, and so Sittel, by the way, after being put to Mirotvor's database. And that was the right thing to do. Let me remind you of 13,000 Ukrainians killed for the past 5 years. 13,000. I wish I could take Malakhov and Sittel to Maidan and Kiev, along with Skabeva and Sheinin, and Solovyov, followed by Kiselyov. They need to stand there, so that no one could touch them. No touching at all. I bet they drown in spit of those walking by in an hour. Okay, let's say I have my position being one of the official friends of Ukraine. Let me be Banderous man, whatever. But here's what Ksenia Larina, my colleague, wrote yesterday. Even though she keeps being on that echo of Gazprom radio, which I don't like, and consider that station a propaganda, but still I respect Ksenia Larina and treat her nice. We have met and she's a good person. Here's the quote. Russia 1 channel celebrates the hoopla of love to Ukraine. What a rapture. Malakhov and Sittel, mere smiling in a fit of joy. I'm afraid to look. For the past 5 years, that same channel has been yelling about Banderous Jews insulting the entire people. They have been making fun of Ukrainian language, the national heroes, the symbols and the holidays. And now they yell about a fraternal love. Trying to handle the fury, I'm asking myself, Ksenia Larina says, what are they up to? The phone conversation with Mr. Zelensky that was pointed out to be initiated by Ukraine. The attempt to hold a real telephone with the Ukrainian channel even though supporting Putin. It is not just rhetoric that has changed, but some story of 5-year spirit abolition told by George Orwell. At the same time, they detained Crimean Tatars on the Red Square, keeping the sailors, the hostages, Sentsov and the prisoners of war behind the bars. The elections will take place in Ukraine in a week. According to the UN committee report, during the time of war in Donbass, over 13,000 were killed starting 2014. Those were the soldiers and the civilians, and the citizens of Russia have approved that war, and now they mind kissing. What are the brilliant strategists of ours planning? No matter what it is, I'm disgusted with what they turned their people into. Now it can be manipulated as some herd. They will move whatever their shepherd points. End of quote. That was the Facebook post by Ksenia Larina. The state captured by Putin and his criminal group can only produce provocations, metastasis of war, the war itself, political instability and death. That's what Putinism produces. They provoked Ukraine yesterday, and today they will provoke at Poklonnaya Hill with some firework. The reason is anniversary of Lithuania liberation from Nazis. That is a provocation, let me tell you that. It's obvious for Lithuanians that a liberation means having the freedom taken from you by someone back. The replacement of Nazi occupation with Soviet occupation, the communist one, cannot be named a liberation. Once the Soviets start meddling with love, rolling their eyes, they need to calm down by having the pawns trying to hard cut. Along with the dumb head, of course, that would be better, so that fishy faces with eyes popping are over. I repeat, the replacement of an occupation with another one is not a liberation, and Stalin is no better than Hitler. Some say he is worse, and others say he is the same, but he is no better, that's for sure. There is an occupation museum in the center of Vilnius that is located in the building that belonged to the State Security Committee on Genuine Prospect. Should any of Russians have a question why Lithuanians aren't happy about today firework over Poklonnaya Hill, and why they don't consider today the Liberation Day, those Russians need to get busy receiving Schengen visa, flying to Vilnius, and visiting the occupation museum. All their questions will be answered there, not by some propaganda, not by that crazy Zakharova from Lavrov's sniffing stable. You need to get that clear answer there, in the former KGB building on Genuine Prospect, from the initial source. A couple of hours ago, RIA News Agency reported breathing heavy between the lines. Let me quote: "Really, I need to sound like Leviathan now. The special services of US and UK are preparing to mislead about the circle of Russian President Vladimir Putin and the top management of Ministry of Defense. They are planning to use that as a reason of some new anti-Russia sanctions," RIA News claims to be reported by a military diplomatic source. According to him, the active stage of anti-Russia campaign is on. That was organized by Western special services. Rather aggressive actions are taken in information space, as part of unconcealed provocative actions. Unconcealed. The specialists from the US and the UK special services fabricate fake news about Russian government. In general terms, that campaign repeats the scenario of so-called Panama Gate, the scandal that followed Western media publishing the offshore company's record on 2015. And information beneficial for the West is fabricated artificially, being thrown into media space by the non-profit organizations and mass media affiliated with the State Department. End of quote. We understand that they mean the Real Time, Svoboda Radio, BBC and so on. Look, a viper nest starts moving in Kremlin. Rats start running in their nest, and the wasp nest starts buzzing. I would rather connect that to the 180 days, if you recall, that were given to the special services to find out all Putin's business schemes, and those by his close circle. to search the offshores and track the routes of money transfer. The investigators are likely to shoot first. Then they will use some heavy weapons. And the icing on that cake will be the new sanctions against Putin's circle. Following in money and still feeling comfortable in Western countries and beyond. To support my version, let me quote RIA News again. This is brilliant. Those press events are used to justify the new sanction measures as anticipated. Such actions are nothing but intrusion into Russian Federation internal affairs, with the purpose of the national situation destabilization, Russian economical potential reduction, and foreign political leverages to country's leadership, the source said. So we wait for financial discoveries and exposing insights. Those are coming. Everyone expects it to be something major, having to do with Putin himself. That needs to shock a lot of people. So we wait. And for now, so that no one gets bored, the House of Representatives in the US Congress approved the project of the military budget 2020, containing the amendment offering sanctions against Russian public debt. Here you go. The ministers of foreign affairs of Great Britain and Canada declared to have created a global mass media freedom coalition. The decision was made during the conference that took place in London this week. The newborn association is supposed to strongly suppress the threats and support the freedom of press around the world. It's understood why they didn't allow Russia Today channel and Sputnik on that affair, those Kremlin propaganda voices. And Zakharova threw a tantrum because of it, declaring such decision of British authorities may harm to British media operating in Russia. It's clear she means BBC on the first place, of course. And to be honest, I'm sick and tired of those attempts to keep a hybrid face by a typical cannibal caveman, using Western diplomatists among the rest. So they broadcast that we have no censorship. We can simply prevent and cover. We can throw one out or give one a ticket. We're no communist beasts. We're the modern KGB agents. Our faces are humane. Those are the faces of ours, ugly-faced and kind on the inside. We don't eat man, you see. Yet sometimes, in our cave, we can find a human bone chewed by someone. I'm upset with the fact that the world community doesn't treat cannibals as they deserve to be treated, by sitting at the communication table with them, by admonishing them, by offering them a niece in exchange for them excluding the human flesh from their daily menu. The caveman sure can simulate the behavior of a civilized person, but the only thing they can do is simulate until the time comes, because a cannibal caveman, sooner or later, starts feeling aggressive. He will simply cut your throat, being a cannibal, you see. And for now, Putin stays in Kremlin. No one has overthrown him, but everyone feels tensed, expecting the Putin Gate that seems to be unavoidable. What kind of shocking facts they publish, we'll see in a few days. But Kremlin's tactics is clear already. Take Kibadachi's stand, don't trust anyone. That is a provocation and those are lies. What are the proofs? Oh, those aren't proofs. We didn't intrude there, you know, just as always. And if there are sanctions, the answer to those will be the increase of the nuclear rhetoric. And God grant that story ends up with a secret funeral, not with a global catastrophe as a result of some nuclear experiment featuring Poseidon missile. That was what I wanted to tell you today, on July 13, 2019. Let me thank you one more time for watching Sotnik-TV. In a few days, starting July 22nd, our entire crew is going for a vacation. For 2 weeks. The 2 weeks only. If some of you consider us doing a good job and deserving some reward, you're welcome to send it up to July 22nd, using the payment details in the description. We will be thankful for that, even though we have already provided some funds for the crew from our budget. That is some vacation pay so that they don't feel sad, while the channel isn't functioning as always. But we keep working up till the 22nd as intensely as we always do. And we'll meet live again next Saturday, trying to link the latest news and to get an objective view on what's going on. And chatting with you is the most important part, because that's why I'm doing it, so that I could chat with you, so that you wouldn't feel lonely, wouldn't feel insane, abandoned, and of no use to anyone. It is very important for us to have each other. As always, I'm asking you not to get nuts. Please don't do it. Don't run towards the train, as you won't be able to crush it. Don't sacrifice and put yourselves in danger in vain. It's important to stay at a safe sanitary distance for now. Simply don't touch the system. Don't share its villainy. Until moment comes. Simply take care of yourselves, of your hearts and souls. We'll meet in a week, next Saturday. Bye-bye.